Hello, everybody. It is me, your narrator, Barron. I hear it's time to make your first check. How exciting. Well done. So, in order to make your check, you will need a deck of 52 playing cards. This deck will represent your entire character and their current status in the world. So, what the heck does that mean? Well, let's get started. With checks. Checks are going to be your interactions with the world, or the world's interactions with you. In order to make a check, you first need to know what that check is. And that's where the narrator comes into play. All right, let me give you one. So, you're on a spaceship. You're traveling to a new planet called the Lou. But on the way, you have a sudden stop as you come across the wreckage of another ship, and your pilot has to make a daring move not to hit it. That's quite a lot of movement, enough to maybe knock you off your feet. In order to avoid being knocked off your feet, I'm going to need a resistance check of base difficulty 3. Okay, so resistance, that's the skill we're going to be using. Base difficulty of 3, that's what we're going to have to try to beat. In order to do this, we are first going to want to know if we have any mod on the resistance skill. I'm going to bring up a character sheet here. It's going to be a little bright for a moment on my little tablet here. Get flashbanged. All right, so our resistance modifier is right here. So with that, we see, okay, our resistance is 0, and our mod is 0, so we're not going to be getting any help from our character. That's a bummer. I can show you some other examples. Hold on, let me flashbang you again. If this were, example, a weaponry check, which we have quite a bit of, we have 20 weaponry, means our modifier is, get out of here, tooltip, is 2. So then we could add that to our check. But since it's resistance, we don't have that luxury. Darn me and my squishy characters. So, we have to beat a 3. We don't have any mods. Let's get started. It kind of draws like a poker hand, because as you draw, it all goes into your active hand, which represents all the actions you can take in this turn. 2. Well, that ain't going to get us anywhere versus a 3. Let's keep drawing. 4. Now, hey, 4 beats 3, right? Wrong. 4 normally would, but there's something in Ethnis called exertion. Exertion is the count of how many cards you have in your hand at one time. The reason we have that is because each card represents an action you can take. The more cards you have active at once, the more it kind of simulates you multitasking. Your brain's going to be trying to do 2 things at once. You're not going to be able to do either one as strongly. So that resembles itself by a malice that goes against all actions from this hand. So 2 cards, my exertion is 2, which means 2 minus 2, that's not worth doing anything anymore, but it could be used for a partial action. 4 minus 2 is 2, which means it's not going to beat the 3 that we're going for. We can try to keep going. But again, the more cards we draw, the less valuable all the cards become. A king. Now, that's not a number. So kings, queens, jacks, jokers, all those things are, we use them in Ethnis to activate abilities, skills, all sorts of things. These will go in something that we're calling a buy pile, which I'll put over here for now. You'll keep these in your, active in your deck until you shuffle again. So good to keep on the side. But now we still don't have a pass. The other cool thing to note is anything that goes into this buy pile basically is like a free draw. It doesn't go into your hand. So 8, okay, that's a success. So 8 minus the 3 is going to be a 5. Our base difficulty was 3, so 5 over 3 is a pass. So now that I have my cards, I'll put these aside for now. I'll discard them if I get the permission to do so from the narrator. So 8, that's my check. 8 minus 3 exertion, 5 versus your 3. That's a pass. Congratulations, you didn't get knocked on your butt. Hallelujah. So once we're done with a hand, once you're done with that check, you will be putting your cards away. So you can put these in discard, which I usually just put face up below the deck. So whenever you need to make a new draw, you just kind of put those to the side because you can't use them until you shuffle. All cards, even if they aren't used, go into discard. Then I'm going to put my bide up top here. So any other face card that I draw making my check, like, oh man, I made a successful 10 check. That's a huge one. That's usually a level, by the way. So those are valuable. So let's just say I use that skill, that gets tossed away into my discard because I used it, and then we keep going. This is, let's just say I have to make another check too. Oh my god, I'm dead. Another king, that goes into bide. Let's just say my check is done. I put these away into discard. So now I've done like 3 or 4 really rapid fire checks, just to kind of show you what your deck will look like after a little bit of use. So my discard pile has grown. My bide is 2 strong, as in 2 cards strong. And then I keep going like this until either I voluntarily shuffle, which you could do at any point, or you run out of cards, at which point you shuffle anyways. So that's how you make your first check. I haven't covered a contest where you're going against other people or other NPCs, or there's active combat going on, where the time limit of a round is counted, but we'll go over that in the next video when it's time to. But for now, I hope you have luck making that resistance check. I believe you can do it. Thank you, everybody. See you around.